I've had to fight. Porsha, shut up. What sacrifice have you made for somebody else? Literally, besides your daughter, what sacrifice have you? Hey y'all, what's going on? Thanks to my channel. Listen, the reunion for Real Housewives of Atlanta is coming up. I'm actually going to put together a video of all the mess so you know going in what to look out for, how to catch people in lies, and who's on some BS. But listen, that's coming later on the week. Right now, let's talk about Porsha's live, right? Because that live, I literally was like, no, let's just get into it, right? So Porsha starts off saying, you know, I'm a mom, I'm an activist, I'm a lover, I'm a fighter. You know, I even took notes because it was so much bullshit, right? And she said that there is an article out on vulture.com, right? Never mind that halfway through this live, she starts with the mess. Halfway through this live, she pivots to Black Lives Matter. I actually didn't know that Porsha had become the voice of Black people, and I needed her to speak on anything dealing with the struggle. Of course, great that you're doing your work, but she's literally talking about, like, if she looks bad, then all Black people look bad. And if her voice is silenced and Black Lives Matter's lives is silenced. And it's like, Porsha, they're two different things. You are a Bravo celebrity. You care about Black Lives Matter. I am a Black woman. I care about Black Lives Matter. But if someone disrespects me, they're not disrespecting Black Lives Matter. Porsha, separate. Unless she's being taken into the Tamika Mallory fold, where she literally is becoming an activist, you know. But we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about this odd quip she said about white people and Kenya Moore not knowing she was Black. But let's get down to it, right? She says she's speaking about the Vulture article. And, you know, Porsha has this weird cadence to her voice now. You can tell that she's gone to media prep. Because now she actually does want to, I think, wants to get into the political sphere. So she's gotten this training where they found this cadence to her voice. What's the cadence that she's going? A Black Southern preacher. Porsha, we see you every Sunday. Unless you're putting on a fake voice on Real Housewives of Atlanta, you do not talk like that. But she's talking like, the facts are the facts. There is this thing on vulture.com. You need to check it out. And I'm speaking on it because there was things not written factually. However, Vulture contacted you to make a statement in the article, and you declined. And you said you declined because you had a lot of projects coming up and you were busy being a mommy. It's interesting that when you had a chance to clear your name on the record, you did not take that chance. Why did she not take this chance? Because this is the thing. Everybody keeps saying Porsha's dumb. And I don't know, she might be, but she's not stupid. If she tried to come with this bullshit and give it to the writer in Vulture, Vulture would have fact checked. Vulture would have called Kenya Moore and Candy Burrs and been like, hi, so we just wanted to touch base. I know you gave us our statement. We talked to Porsha, and Porsha has conflicting. Do you have a thing? They would have fact checked this with Bravo. Porsha is very good about the fact that you watch her even on Real Housewives in Atlanta. She always plays the emotional game, but she's a known liar. She makes up lies off the top of her head, and dangerous lies about people cheating, paying waitresses. Remember when she said that Peter was paying his waitresses, 19-year-old waitresses in, I don't want to say it because I don't want to get demonetized. Excuse the ink on my finger. He was paying his 19-year-old waitresses. Yeah, but then come to find out you have to be 21 to work at a place in Atlanta that serves alcohol, so he couldn't have had a 19-year-old waitress. But I digress, right? Shout out to Brooke Ashley, right? My whole point in saying this is she is a known liar, but she's that type of liar where, just like when it came to Phaedra and she was backing out of that whole Candy drugging her lie, right? She didn't want to actually go, I think, she did not want to go on record with that article because it could have been easily been fact checked and she would have been exposed as being full of this, right? Now, here's the thing. She started off saying that, listen, no one has the power to get Bravo to do anything. No, I'm sorry. She starts off saying that, listen, if nobody has the power to get Bravo to take out anything, but I've been on there for a while. I've worked hard. I'm super powerful. And if I, thank goodness, have worked hard to get to the point where I can get Bravo to do something, then so be it. But then she immediately pivots and she says, however, that wasn't the case in this case. So I listened to her like, all right, so what was the case? Tell me more, Porsha Williams. And she was like, in this case, her considerable clout and dominance she has at Bravo that she just said didn't play a factor, right? It's not true. The thing is, she went to Bravo. There was a scene where she went to Todd's party and she said Candy confronted her as soon as she came in. Girl, stop. We've seen every scene in Housewives. Didn't nobody confront you as soon as you walked in? You went around the party, and when you went to go talk to Candy, the cameras were there, and Candy was like, so I heard, blah, 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 right? She said she went and confronted, Candy confronted her at Todd's birthday, right? And she said that an argument erupted that made Black women look bad. Y'all, I think that Porsha got out of pocket with Candy, and she didn't want Candy to look bad. Because honestly, Porsha, you talk all this Black Lives Matter stuff. You don't care about another Black woman look bad because you dogged Kenya out the whole lie. You literally blamed her for the death of Jesus, the fall of the Roman Empire, and the reason why Saddam Hussein was hiding in bunkers in Baghdad. She blamed Kenya for everything. She said that she was arguing with Candy because Candy felt like she did something. Then Kenya Moore came in, jumped into the argument, right? And she decided, even though she doesn't have any power, but she has considerable power, she decided to then go to Bravo and explain this isn't a good look for Black people as a whole. Not right now. We can't have people arguing. Okay. Do you know what I think actually happened? I think Porsha's telling the truth. She went to Bravo, and I think she played that card where when you're dealing sometimes with people in the corporate situation, they don't want any problems. They don't want any lawsuits, right? Porsha, her storyline is Black Lives Matter. She's getting involved in Black Lives Matter. We'll talk about Tamika Mari and that whole crew in a second because they are right up Porsha's alley. But I can see a corporate environment being like, ooh, yeah, this might actually get some type of blowback for the Black community. It might look, they don't know, they're not in the Black community. They're looking at Porsha as, you know, the resident Black. Porsha's saying it's going to be a problem. So they listened to her saying that she doesn't think it's a good idea to have the show, the scene played. And Bravo agreed with her and took it out. So Porsha, how is anything in the article a lie? And I know a lot of you guys have heard this again, but I'm going to get deep into it. How is anything in here a lie? Because you said you went to them saying that you thought the scene should be removed, and they agreed with you, and they removed the scene. So you did go and try to get the scene removed, and they removed it on your request from the considerable power you have. Girl, this is the problem with Porsha. Porsha is emotionally intelligent, but when it comes to keeping stories together, because she's so good at talking, because she's so good at tapping into people's emotions, because most people are looking at her face and not the words that come out of her mouth, people overlook the dumb stuff she says. The thing is, Porsha, when we're talking neck and neck, I see your pretty hair, I see your pretty face, I see your pretty outfit, you're tapping into my emotions. Even though you don't say anything, it goes over my head, right? Much like the way Donald Trump shit goes over the head because you're right there. But when you're actually watching playback, and I have the time to not be feeling your energy, right? And not be enthralled by this Cancer thing. Cancers are really good at invoking emotions. When I have a chance to not do that, then I start listening and I'm like, this literally doesn't make any sense. The reason why people respond to it, I think, is because Cancers are good in tapping into like a cosmic emotional truth, right? They're very good at doing that. The only thing is, Porsha, you might have felt that this is the truth, but it wasn't actually the truth. And that's when her unevolved Cancer stuff hits a wall. I know you felt like that's what happened, but when you tell us the facts, everybody else that isn't in your presence, feeling your energy, is like, but that's not what happened, right? She wouldn't like the way it would come off. What thing? You keep talking about all these things about Kenya Moore and even Candy not having your back, but you're not saying what everybody did wrong in the argument, which leads me to believe that you were the person acting a fool in the argument. Because if it was Kenya or if it was Candy, you would have threw them under the bus the way you were still throwing on the bus. So let's piece this together. From what I see, you are trying to jump over into being taken seriously as an activist. You have the family legacy, you have the platform. Real Housewives of Atlanta, in my opinion, is not going to be on 3 seasons from now, or it's going to be recast. So you're looking, and you just got taken on under a big PR company, right? A huge PR company. So that lets me know that you're trying to make the jump from reality star to either respected actress, and if you can, trade on that political capital that your name brings you. You want to be taken seriously, so you don't want to be involved in reality TV shenanigans. you still have that violent nature. You have a fighter spirit. Nothing wrong with it, but let's be real. Porsha has a fighter's spirit, right? So you acted a fool at the party. You wanted that removed because you didn't think it would be a good look for Black Lives Matter, or at least Black Lives Matter's newest spokesperson, Porsha Williams. Remember I said Porsha keeps equating Black Lives Matter with her. Something makes, if she looks bad, then Black Lives Matter look bad. Porsha, I didn't know it was that serious. But also, this explains why you got so mad at Bolo. I first thought it's because you and Dennis were still together, and I think y'all were, but I think at the end of the day, you were even more mad about it because you know what being taken seriously in political circles, and also just being taken seriously, there's a lot of things, but you busting down a stripper on national TV and doing whatever for girls trip and this and that, you did not want that shown because that, more than anything, was damaging to this new pivot you're trying to do. But let's go into this, right? Again, why are you arguing? You said you went to Bravo to talk. They agreed to everything Kenya said was true. Another thing I realized with Porsha, she talks to people that are never going to read the article because a lot of the shit she said was completely wrong. But I remember, Porsha, you're not talking to me. I'm not your target audience, right? I'm watching this live on replay. I'm not your target audience. Your target audience are the masses, the people, the court of public opinion. That's what you're going for. The only thing is, Porsha, and this is the problem she's going to have with activism. Your platform, just like Monique's platform, 90% of it are people that are there for the mess. They're there for your fighter spirit. They're there for your clapbacks, right? And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But you notice on that live, when you started talking about real shit, people dropped off like this. Not even that. If you really are here to be the voice of Black Lives Matter, why did you start with this community campaign when you had 30,000 people in your thing? Why did you start off? Why did you literally post something permanently so you can always see? Why did you put a lick to click? If anything, she was on the lap being like, you can go to, why did you pin community aid? I don't even know. Campaigning to end qualified immunity. And we'll talk about that later. Because Porsha, if you're going to be an activist, you just can't show up and look pretty. You need to do some research. And you could tell by the way she was reading off the paper and didn't even know the people's names or what had been happening and playing like, oh my God, I can't even think of it. I don't want to speak on it. You don't want to speak on it because you don't remember their names. But we'll get on to that. Unprofessional. You didn't even have it pinned. You didn't even know. You started with the mess. You wanted to clear your name in the court of public opinion because it's important people's perception of you. Y'all see my notes. I was scribbling furiously. You want to worry about people's perception of you. Now, right? She said, so then she talks about Kandi and everybody being more powerful together and saying that they're mad because Kandi should have been more powerful together, right? And she explained this to Nene, Marlo, and Tanya. First of all, Nene, Marlo, and Tanya are not the whole cast. And it's funny, Porsha Williams, that you are so concerned about everybody being more powerful together. However, you went unilateral to get that scene removed to cover your ass. But it's a problem when Kandi does it to actually get influence, to actually get jobs, to actually get a tunnel from historically Black colleges into Bravo, right? But I see you have a problem with it. So it's not the fact that Kandi acted alone, because you're fine to act alone. It's the fact that you couldn't control and you were trying to put yourself out there to be the face of Black Lives Matter. Not saying it's wrong or right, but goddamn, stop lying to me. Just be honest, right? She said it would cause confusion. You know, what confusion? Porsha, you did the same damn thing. The only thing was when Kandi went unilateral, she was actually trying to get real systemic change and open up boundaries, barriers that had been previously closed to a lot of Black youth, people that are in youth, my cousin Biddy, people that are in production. When you moved unilateral, it was to save your own butt so you didn't get in trouble for Black Lives Matter. Isn't that true, Porsha Williams? Isn't that true, right? You did the same thing, but you got the same dumb things. Then they try to say that the reason that they only got a donation was because since Kandi asked for people in production and Bravo tried to get opportunities for Black people when it came to production, the only thing that you, Miss the only thing Nene, the only thing Marlon, the only thing Tanya could think to do, right, was to ask for a donation. Porsha, There's a lot to go between a cash donation and between actually getting systematic change, right? But this is the reason y'all only got that lame thing to get thing. You know why you wanted that donation for Black Lives Matter? Because you were trying to prove to Black Lives Matter, Tamika Mallory, and the rest of those goddamn scammers that are now doing Cadillac commercials, even though the mothers of the slain children are telling them to stop. The reason why you wanted that was quite simple. Just so you could show your power to Black Lives Matter, so they take you into the fold and you can start getting those commercials and you can start getting those Cadillac and your new PR company that's trying to position you as the voice of change can really have something to go on. But let's go on, right? Okay. So we're going. So Prosper's going on that her issue is that everybody's not coming to Bravo as a team. Again, Porsha, you don't care about coming as a team. When you wanted to move unilaterally to save your butt, that I'm convinced in that argument, you acted a fool and it was messing up your new image you were trying to put forth. I now see why Kenya was saying everything, because I'm now starting to put it together just like she did. A little slow, but I'm starting to see, yeah, Porsha, you're full of it. You didn't want to come as a team. You wanted Candy to come as a member of your team as you approach Bravo with Nene as your co-captain, and you guys could say, oh, look what we did. Why were you guys mad about her getting the thing when all you guys had was a cash donation? You know how I know all you wanted was a cash donation? Because when Candy asked for the production thing, which I don't care what you say, none of y'all were thinking about doing that, right? That's where your mind, a cash donation. There was nothing else you were thinking about? Nothing else? Nothing else? Just cash donation? All right, Porsha, right? Again, also the group. The group was only Nene, Marlo, and Tanya. So what was the big deal? Because if Candy's talking, keeping it real, okay, but that's not the whole group. So what's the big deal, right? So I'm making a mockery of Black Lives Matter. She said that she texted Candy. She explained to Candy, you know, about what was so thing and yelling at her about the email. Again, Porsha, if you had the right to actually go on and to the side and ask for a whole scene to be deleted without consulting anybody else, who are you to tell Candy that she can't actually go and get real change? You said it yourself. You're criminal justice. She's into getting opportunities. Both are needed. I'm not shading that, but I mean, come on, Porsha. Okay, here's another thing that's really, really bothering me. Porsha is literally, like I said, assuming the voice of Black Lives Matter. Something hurts Porsha, something hurts Black Lives Matter. You are not the voice of Black Lives Matter. You're not even a figurehead, but let's talk about Black Lives Matter and the people you are rolling deep with. Listen, there is change, right? And I know a lot of people that marched with Martin Luther King went into politics, flipped it up. But it's like, Porsha, you literally stepped foot, got arrested once, and now you're trying to flip this to actually see how you can position yourself to be an activist. Let's not act like it's not been lucrative. Let's not act like money hasn't been missing. Let's not act like there's a lot of things wrong with Black Lives Matter right now. And everything that's wrong looks to people that are more important and making it a bigger issue to be a celebrity doing Cadillac commercials. You know, whenever there's corporate events for diversity, you're the person they call, right? That's what you are looking for. That's what most of those people that are spearheading are for. The real activism is on the street. The real activism was what Candy's doing, and even what Kenya's doing. And let's talk about your activism, not Candy, Porsha. What have you done since then? Since the season air, where have you been done? You're reading this shit about Ben and Jerry's, saying you talk to Ben and Jerry's, talking to people like they're 3-year-olds, and you eat their ice cream, and I know y'all think it's good. Porsha, why are you talking to everybody like they are 3 years old? Why are you talking to everybody like they are you? And I know y'all like that ice cream, so if you like their ice cream, support prison reform. Really, Porsha, is that the way Black people talk to each other? And then your odd comment about, and Kenya, I got news for you too. You're Black. And when I'm trying to help, and no, I'm sorry, let me talk to her, Porsha. Kenya, I got news for you. You're Black. And when I'm standing up for Black people, I'm even saying, Kenya knows she's Black. She's first Miss Black USA. Kenya has done a lot of charity, but also, Porsha, who are you? Who are you? Who have you spoken for? You're talking about you're speaking for the people that aren't here, but then when you talk about when you try to talk about, you're like, and even that baby that just got killed today in the streets, and she's like, oh, I'm so confused, I don't remember the name. I know when somebody forgot their lines. And while she's saying that, she's flipping through the papers because she's looking for her notes to find the baby's name. And then Porsha, being the liar she is, says, I can't just speak on what I saw today because I won't be able to finish. Flipping through the notes, trying to act like she's tearing up. Then saying, I can't even say it, right? Flipping through. You can't say it because you don't remember her name. You can't say it because you didn't even prep or study for this live. This was not to bring awareness. You came on this live to drag Kenya through the mud, to make sure that you were still the Bravo angel, because let me tell you something. It's the court of public opinion, but Bravo is also watching the way people feel about this. Porsha's clout that season, I don't know what it is the fact that she was the figurehead of Black Lives Matter. Whenever the network, and I'm sure they were scared, like, because you know Bravo always has a problem with racism, was scared about where to move. They were like, why don't you ask Porsha and see if it's okay with Black Lives Matter? That's why Porsha is so concerned with keeping her capital and keeping her clout. She is not talking to the people in the street. She is not talking about what happened with Breonna Taylor. She is not marching for anything else. She has not said anything about activism until now. Yes, she went out and stumped for Warnock and got the vote out. But to tell you the truth, I see her taking a pivot to social justice. And honestly, I think she's taking a pivot to politics. She's looking for what's next. So even then, I don't look at her as doing anything because honestly, Porsha, you're doing it because you need to pack your resume with events. Speaking that footage, being known is going to increase your price, but it's also going to increase your public image. Nobody's slow, right? Let me talk about the part that really pissed me off. She said, you can't be asking white people to give you a seat at the table, right? When you're on here acting an ass. You can't be asking white people to give you a seat at the table? Porsha, are we still in slave time? What do you mean we can't be asking white people to give us a seat at the table when we're acting a fool? Who are you asking to give a seat at the table? What white people are you asking to get a seat at the table? Is it these white people that you're fighting for our rights, right? Is your white people that you're fighting for our rights for? And then what? Are they going to give you a seat at the table? Because there's videotape of you busting out a stripper. There's videotape of you beating another woman up. But even if there was, the fact that you are stuck in that tired, delayed, respectability politics narrative, and Porsha, let me tell you something. If you're into respectability politics, you will never, ever, 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 ever have a seat at the table just for who you are, what you've got, and the memory that lives on. But even then, the fact that you're in tired respectability politics saying you're marching for Black Lives Matter, it doesn't even make sense. You can't be asking white people to get, I'll ask a white person for my respect and my seat at the table, whether I act a fool or not. I deserve to sit here just like everybody else. The tired mentality, right? And then she went on with her toxic cancer ways. You know, maybe if you sacrifice for someone else, if my whole life has been a sacrifice, all my life I've had to fight. Porsha, shut up. What sacrifice have you made for somebody else? Literally, besides your daughter, what sacrifice have you made? And even if you did make a lot, Kenya sacrificed a lot. She has a daughter. She has people that love her. Porsha, stop with this tired narrative. Again, that toxic cancer, unevolved cancer narrative of all your life, and everything you do, good, bad, ugly, in between, has been the sacrifice for someone else, is bullshit. Do you do things for you, Porsha? The fact that other people might benefit is fine, but this tired, unevolved cancer narrative that no matter what you do, I may not be perfect, but I sacrifice myself for everyone. Shut up, Porsha. Just shut up, right? You are just trying to get into that Black Lives Matter, lucrative Tamika Maurer scammer money, and you're hoping to make the flip into either respected talk show host, politics, maybe even all of the above. You are young for a politician. You are past niece age. You just turned 30, but you are young for a politician. You still have 30, 40 years that you can literally get in on that Maxine Waters angle. I'm not comparing Maxine Waters, Senator Maxine Waters to, I'm sorry, Congresswoman Maxine Waters to Porsha, but you get what I'm saying. She has a lot of years left in her and a lot of fight. And if that's what Porsha wants to do, then do it. But you know what? This is my problem with Porsha. If that's what you want to do, do it. But do it honestly. Stop looking for other people to point fingers. Stop blaming everybody. Just do what you want to do and stand in your truth. But Porsha cannot stand in her truth, because Porsha's a pathological liar, y'all. We need to talk about that. She's a pathological liar. And when she finally gets, before the live drops off, when she finally gets into something important, which is qualified immunity, she doesn't even have the campaign pen. She's reading off a note. Y'all, I talked to Ben and Jerry's. Y'all like that ice cream, right? Ben and Jerry's ice cream's good. Let me tell y'all about qualified immunity. Porsha, where did you get this media training from? Why are you talking to me like I'm stupid? And what does me liking the goddamn ice cream have to do with Ben and Jerry's? I'll tell you the truth. Delta is my favorite airline when I'm flying overseas. However, Delta voted for the voters' rights suppression. Well, they didn't vote, but they support the voters' rights suppression. So now I got to find a new airline to actually fly on. You see how that works? What does me liking the ice cream have to do with qualified immunity? She makes these simplistic arguments because Porsha is simplistic. She cannot even explain qualified immunity. All she can do is ignite feelings, which is fine, but it's kind of like, if you want me to believe that you're really true of this, do some research. Actually just learn about it. You have the feeling, you have the invoking part. She will probably be very good at what she's doing, because most politicians are liars, pants on fire. But the fact that you came on live, talked all this shit about Kenya, diminish a black woman, diminish Candy, diminish everything Candy did, just to clear your name for something you actually admitted on live you did. Then to flip to the real shit, most of your followers actually logged off. But then you're talking about qualified immunity in the most simplistic way, right? And you can't even remember the names of anyone that was slain, even when you're flipping through your mini notes. Listen, Porsha is not stupid. She is very emotionally intelligent, but I will say it over and over and over. Folks, Porsha Williams is dumb. I'm actually waiting to see what actually come out in the reunion, because I know it's just gonna be some mess. But you know what, you guys? Thanks for sticking. Like, what else is there? Just make sure I didn't forget anything. You know, she's talking about what happened. She's doing a lot to kiss Candy's ass, right? Because she does not want to get on Candy's side, because Porsha might have control of the network, but so does Candy. It's like Clash of the Night Titans, but she feels like Kenya Moore is disposable. And it's sad that the network always treated her like she was disposable. But anyway, she'd like to do something with Kenya if Kenya ever gets her mind right. Porsha, who are you? I want to actually see, since the season aired, I've not seen Porsha do anything with Black Lives Matter. I've not seen her do anything with social justice. I've not seen her do anything with her platform. For what is she talking about? And then she talks about Candy. She's mad that Candy didn't clear things up. Candy did clear things up. On her Speak On It with her cat's paw, you know how Tauruses love to have cat's paw. On her Speak On It, she explained everything. She explained everything. Don Juan explained everything. Kenya said everything. And Candy just sat there. Candy just sat there and Candy agreed. You know, but I like the way typical Porsha, right? Typical uninvolved Cancer, hitting things sideways. You know you can't strike at Candy directly, so you do that sideways. Your real self comes out when you talk about Kenya. You know that saying, guys, always look at the way somebody treats someone they do not need to impress. The way Porsha treats Kenya is Porsha's true nature. Just like the way Kenya treats Porsha is Kenya's true nature. Like it or hate it. Neither of them are right. Neither of them are angels. But at least Kenya stands in her truth. And I will say from Kenya, what she says always pans out to be factually true. Now, you might have a different opinion, right? Feeling wise. But what she says always turns out to be factually true. What Porsha says, never. It's never true. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all superficial. It all sounds good, looks good, feels good, until you actually look and you're like, wait, that is not exactly what happened. I'm really disappointed with Porsha with this live. And I'm most of all disappointed for her. You can't be asking white people for a seat at the table. Man, Porsha, go. Get out of here. You don't speak for me. You don't speak for me. I'll sit at the table anywhere I want. Anyway, bye, y'all.